crops throughout the year. Therefore, the farmers of Doab region had to pay higher taxes during the rule of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. It was the revenue system of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now about another important measures taken by the Muhammad bin Tughlaq was shifting of his capital from Delhi to Devagiri. He shifted his capital from Delhi to Devagiri. Devagiri in central India, because to establish capital city at the center of the vast empire. Delhi Sultanate, it was a vast empire. To establish a capital city at the center of the vast empire, and second, to protect the capital city from the foreign invasions. With these two reasons, he shifted his capital from Delhi to Devagiri. Though the plan was good, proper precautions were not taken to implement this. This plan was very good, but proper precautions were not taken to implement that plan of shifting capital from Delhi to Devagiri. As a result, innumerable common people suffered severely. Common people suffered severely. Old people, disabled people, and poor people, they suffered severely. And in that plan also, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was a failure. Now the next experiment of symbolic coins. Now the second reformation was the experiment of a symbolic coins. Value of the currency was made adjusted to the value of gold and silver coins in circulation of his time. He brought gold coins named dinar. He introduced gold coins called dinar, and silver coins named adli. Dinar, that is dinar. It is a gold coin, and adli, that is silver coin, were brought into circulation. After a few years, the copper and brass coins were also brought into circulation symbolically. After the gold and silver, he introduced that copper and brass coins into the circulation symbolically. Then minting of coins was not vested with the government alone, but the minting of the coin was not vested with the government alone. But today, the minting of the currency, the minting of the coin in our country is vested with the government and the Reserve Bank of India. But that time it was not vested with the central authority. It was not vested with the government alone. Families who had a traditional rights to mint the coins were also there. That time some families who had a traditional right to mint the coins. So some traditional families used to mint the coins. The coins were minted more than the required number without the permission of the Sultan. These families, they minted coin at a large quantity without the permission of the Sultan. This resulted in the difficulties. It resulted in the crisis, in the economic crisis or the chores. The state treasury became empty due to the costly administrative system or administrative experiments. His two experiments, that is shifting of capital from Delhi to Devagiri and experiment of the symbolic coins. Because of these two administrative experiments, there was a economic setback the treasury became empty, and severe droughts also one of the reason for the bankruptcy of the kingdom. And the process of relocating the capital back, process of relocating the capital, there was also heavy expenditure. Because of all these reasons, the treasury became empty. Now the Deccan policy of Muhammad bin Tughlaq implemented his administration in the areas conquered by him in the Deccan. He had conquered Warangal, which was the capital of the Kakatiyas. He also destroyed Dwarasamudra, the capital of Hoysalas. Madurai of South India was conquered by Jalaluddin. Hasan Shah was the governor. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the first Delhi Sultan to establish vast empire in India. He was the first ruler who established a vast empire in India, because he also conquered South Indian kingdoms like the Dwarasamudra, the capital of Hoysalas, Warangal, the capital of the Kakatiyas. So he was the first ruler who had established a vast empire in India, and he organized a big army. There were 27 rebellions in South India during his last 11 years of rule. During his last 11 years of his rule, there were 27 rebellions in South India. 27 rebellions in South India during his last 11 years rule. Means 27 times he invaded South India. These rebellions led to the rise of Vijayanagara and Bahmani kingdom. These rebellions gave rise to the establishment of Vijayanagara kingdom and Bahmani kingdom. Now afterwards, Firoz Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he was the famous ruler of this dynasty. He brought many revenue system, revenue reformation. Then he had a plan to shift his capital from Delhi to Devagiri. But there also he was in failure, and experiment of symbolic coins and his Deccan policy. During his Deccan policy, he destroyed the South Indian kingdoms like the Kakatiyas of Warangal and Hoysalas of Dwarasamudra, and established a vast empire in India. Now the later Tughlaqs, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, who ascended the throne after Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he was the successor of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He implemented number of pro-people programs. He warned the Takkabi, he waived, means he abolished Takkabi loans for the benefit of the people. He paid compensation to the victims of Muhammad bin Tughlaq's invasions. The private mines used to be taxed, and also taxes were collected for providing the irrigation facilities. He collected the taxes for what purpose? To provide irrigation facilities to the farmers. He abolished around 20 different taxes. 20 different taxes were abolished by the Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Means Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he levied a number of taxes. But when Firoz Shah Tughlaq came to power, he abolished almost all the taxes and benefited the subjects. He built the cities, mosques, madrasas, dams and irrigation canals. and he also built Jaunpur, Firozabad, Fatehbad, Hisar, Firozabad were the few important cities built by him. Jodhpur was the famous learning center, and dharmashalas were built for the benefit of the travelers. For the benefit of the travelers, he built dharmashalas in his kingdom. So he was the last ruler of the Tughlaq dynasty, and Tughlaq dynasty was after the decline of Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty came to power. Here Khizr Khan Sayyid, who was the governor of Multan, founded this dynasty. First of all, Khizr Khan Sayyid, he was a governor of the Multan, and he established this dynasty by conquering Delhi. He established his rule in Doab, Bian and Gwalior. First of all, he established his rule in Doab region, means the region between the river Ganga and Yamuna, and Bian and Gwalior. He also suppressed rebellions and established law and order, ensuring the peace. Here Muhammad Shah, Alauddin and Alam Shah were the prominent rulers of this dynasty. Here Muhammad Shah and Alauddin and Alam Shah were the famous rulers of this dynasty. Bahlul Lodi defeated Alam Shah, Bahlul Khan Lodi, who defeated the last ruler of Sayyid dynasty, Alam Shah, and brought an end to the rule of Sayyid dynasty. Now the Lodi dynasty, this was the last sultanate of Delhi. Lodi dynasty, it was the last dynasty which ruled over Delhi. Bahlul Lodi, Sikandar Lodi and Ibrahim Lodi were the sultans of this dynasty. Sikandar Lodi conquered Bihar, Bengal, Dhawalpur and Chanderi. He established peace and order in Delhi because first of all he conquered some areas in the area Bengal, Bihar, Dhawalpur and Chanderi. By this way he maintained peace and order in Delhi. Then Ibrahim Lodi, the successor of Sikandar Lodi, was incompetent. Afghans were united to invade India by the governors Alam Khan and Daulat Khan. When Ibrahim Lodi, when he became incompetent, when he was weak, that time Alam Khan and Daulat Khan Lodi invited Babur to invade India. So the Babur came to India from Afghanistan and defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat, which was fought in 1526. So in 1526 CE, first battle of Panipat was fought between the Ibrahim Lodi and